Ron, what do you think the culture of the wide receiver room is going to be this year? You got a lot of newcomers mixed with some veterans. I guess what are you looking for from that group entering the spring?
I mean, really, when you talk about that group, and the way the guys have been working, they've been relentless up until this point, working hard, but just getting, technically sound, being consistent, working on the fundamentals, and also just being selfless, because everybody's gonna want the ball and all that stuff, but there's some other things you got to do too, in order to get the ball, on the perimeter, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do, because the way they've worked this off season so far, and we're just, for the most part, looking for competition, in that group, and I think all those guys, they want it, they're hungry, and I'm excited about it.
The veterans of the group, there's guys who crazy now to think Jakai, Darian, Camdon have been here for what, year 5 for them now.
Say it again.
For those guys, what do they need to do to kind of establish themselves as leaders, as veterans of the room? What are you looking from them this spring?
They've done a good job this offseason encouraging guys, and now you want to see them because they've had their moments. All those guys, they've made big plays in big games. Now you just got to be, you just got to see it all the time now. And obviously they got to get the opportunity to do that. And now they have the opportunity to do it, and that starts in spring. So I'm excited about those guys just being consistent on the perimeter, doing, whether it's catching, blocking on the perimeter, whatever it may be, but I'm excited about, what they bring to the table as far as the leadership and, being older guys that's gone through a lot of stuff that some of these young guys hadn't gone through, the ups and downs since they've been here.
Jakai's up to, I think, almost 200 pounds now, based on that. We got to see his skill set, the diversity of it in the bowl game when he was asked to do a bunch of different things. What can this year be for him? How can he be used? What is his upside, I guess?
Well, Jakai is a smart football player. It doesn't matter where you put him. He's played out and outside lane, in the slot, in the backfield for us. Quarterback. He's a smart player that can do multiple things. He can run, got good ball skills. So I'm excited about what he can do for us. And that's the biggest thing, just what he brings to the table is the versatility of playing multiple positions.
What have you seen from Malik Benson through the tour of duty? And I guess what are the expectations for him in the spring?
One of the things that Malik's done since he's been here, he's tried to lead. He's been vocal. He's been a guy that encourages guys. He's been a guy that's getting guys out there, go catch with the quarterbacks. And just to see that is encouraging. And I'm not even talking about what he did on the field yet, but with the tour of duty, he showed explosive movements. He's done a really good job with that, finishing. And I'm excited to see what he can do this spring because, the kid's been nothing but great since he's been there.
Hykeem Williams seemed like he was breaking out. Seemed like things were figured out before the injury. Is it kind of like a restart for him? Is it picking up where he left off? What are you looking for from Hykeem in the spring?
Well, it's more of I say it's kind of both a restart, kind of picking up where he left off, because of obviously he had the injury. And before that, he really came on strong for us. And so it was kind of disappointing to see that happen to him. And, but his spirits have been right in the right place. He's doing everything he's supposed to do in the training room, meeting room. He's being a pro, and his approach to it is like unbelievable for a young man the way he is. Only being a sophomore, to come back and to pick up some of the things that he left off is really good. So I'm excited for him. And just got to stay healthy.
From last tour of duty, when he first got here, he really struggled.
No, awful.
And then, by August, he seemed to be getting with the program in terms of his physical abilities. Can you talk about that transition?
Well, my hat goes off to him, because we were really on him, about just the durability, the fatigue, just those different things. And we really pushed him. We challenged him that if you want to play on this level, and you want to be a difference maker on this level, you got to be able to play more than 1 or 2 plays and not be tired. And he took on that challenge. He came back, got in the meeting room, worked on this technique and fundamentals. And he really did a good job for us going into training camp. So I was impressed with what I saw out of him, to from what I saw in the tour duty last year and up until the season and this tour duty now, he's night and day from what he was before. And it's speaks volumes about him.
You lost a lot of receiver reps. Got some talented kids coming in. How will this receiver group be different than last year?
Well, this receiver obviously will be faster than what we were before. And you're right, we lost a lot of big play, bigger receivers, a lot of snaps on the perimeter. But I'm excited to see what these young guys can do because they're hungry. And you do have some guys in that room that's had a taste of success, but just not a lot of it. So I'm excited to see what those guys can do because we all talk about we want more at bats. Now you're going to get the opportunity to do that, and are you going to shy away from it or are you going to embrace it, and take on the challenge?
That's the key for Hykeem Williams.
It's got to be consistent. He's got to be consistent in his training, being consistent, taking care of his body, which he has been. And now he's got to carry over to the field. Just being a consistent ball fetcher. On the perimeter, he's got to be a physical young man. With the body that he has. We're doing the squat part the other day, and I'm like, dang, like I wish my body was like that. But now he's got to go out and just put it on display.
Some of the young guys, like a Frier, for example, and others. Can you talk about those guys and what they bring to the table?
Well, when you talk about Camdon Frier, man, like he works his tail off. Like, unbelievable work ethic. He tries hard, he strains, he's tough. And you just see, when you look at him work, you see a bad case of the wants. Just a blue collar, just hard nosed, just coach, don't give me anything, I'm gonna go out and work for it. And I'm excited for him, and because that kid really worked his butt off in the tour duty. Then BJ Gibson is one as well. Kind of both did a little bit of baseball and football. Probably a little bit more football. And BJ early on in the tour duty was a little slower. Kind of catching on. But he's come along as well. Both those guys in the squat party probably did the most out of all the receivers. Maybe all the skill guys. But they're both strong, young men. I'm excited for them. When you talk about LaWayne McCoy, he's missed a couple of days because of a couple of things, sick. But he still didn't miss a beat. On the tour duty, we sent him back, multiple times. Every time it looked the same as far as his effort. And that's what you love to see out of when you bring those young guys in. And I think it's a good group of guys that want to work, guys that want to get better, and guys that's actually going to compete. So I'm really looking forward to those guys, battle this spring.
What were the biggest things that jumped out when you started kind of recruiting and looking at Malik?
Well, I looked at Malik a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And before he decided to go, to another school. And the first thing he said when he got here was like, "Coach, I should have came to Florida State." I'm like, no, yes. I told you that. And his explosive movements, and the way he practiced. And those are one of the things when you look at a receiver, how does he practice? When you go out and you're evaluating the guy, and his ball skills was really good, and he can run. And not as vocal as he is now of a leader, but when you look at his explosive movements, you're like, wow, like he can really impact us and help us this year. So that's what I saw in him early on when we were recruiting.